Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Just been working on my bike a little bit. It's been some time since I put out a video, but welcome to We the People, a new birth of freedom. I really appreciate you stopping by. Well, we're in an interesting time. Quarantine, virus, corona, loss of jobs, loss of income, stimulus, money. These are all common words and phrases that we've become accustomed to, plus many, many more. So, it's an interesting time. But nevertheless, we're still a free people. We're still a free people. We are still Americans. And I'm not downplaying the virus, even though I don't subscribe to every opinion and every statistical chart that's out there. I believe there's some validity to it. How much? I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd be afraid to place my mark there. Nevertheless, not that I'm not concerned, not that I don't have compassion, empathy. While I have not been an individual that's contacted the coronavirus, the COVID-19, I have had in the past various bouts with the flu that were horrendous. I ached in every part of my body, clear down to the end of my toes, the end of my fingertips. Fever, headaches, nausea, sometimes vomiting, loss of appetite. I've experienced that for a week to 2 weeks at a time. Certainly wasn't pleasant. However, I got through it. So, if this befalls me, I anticipate getting through that also. Nevertheless, one of the things that has certainly surfaced here in the United States of America, which is a far more pandemic than the virus itself, is fear. Fear. Little four-letter word. Fear. I'm not fearful. It's never one time entered my mind to go into some kind of panic, pandemonium, or live under the oppression of fear. Because I live as a free man. I am a free man. I am a free individual. As I said, I don't subscribe to what the media is saying, what every doctor is saying. I go by my own dictates, my own common sense, my own intellectual level. And I realize, yes, of course, there's certain things you can do. You can wash your hands. You can practice social distancing. There's a number of things that you can do, but there's no 100% guarantee. And since there's not a 100% guarantee, why should I live in fear? Just because the media is spewing out whatever. Because I protect and maintain my status as a free man. When sickness has struck me in the past, I'm still a free man. I nurse it, I take care of it. Sometimes I've taken antibiotics, many times I haven't, and I work my way through it. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat. If I have constipation, I do things to remedy that. If I have diarrhea, I work on that. Whatever befalls me, I have enough intelligence, enough common sense to do whatever is necessary to work through the issue, the problem. But I don't live in fear. I certainly didn't allow myself to be thrown into a state of panic where I had to rid the shelves of all the toilet paper and the meat and certain food items. I don't understand all of that. I really don't. I really don't understand that. I guess it's proving that we live in a very narcissistic society. It's all about me and mine, instead of we. I know that the processes that have been put into place as far as the social distancing and the mask and all that, in concept, it's a we strategy, but individuals respond to me. What I need, what I want, what I have to have, instead of we. And that doesn't mean there's not people out there that fall into the we category that's trying everything they can to help as many people as they can. But when you go into a grocery store and the toilet paper's gone, all the meat is gone, certain food items are gone. Why? Is that a we concept or is that a me concept? Well, I'll let you decide. Nevertheless, let's look at the subject here just for a few minutes on what's essential. Certain stores were allowed to function and stay open because they were essential, okay? And government entities decided what businesses were essential. The individual didn't get to decide. The government decided for you what was essential to stay open. Small businesses, salons, barbershops, mom and pop stores, businesses that people have worked hard individually and with their employees, a little handful of employees, to grow the business, be able to pay their employees a good wage, a decent wage, and make a living for themselves as business owners. They were regarded as non-essential. And so you wonder, how are they going to fare in this crisis? But my point is, according to the government, they were non-essential. Well, you know, I went into stores that were have been allowed to stay open. The big corporations. I don't have to mention any names, but you know what I'm talking about. And I've walked the aisles. And 90%, 80 to 90% of what's in those stores are not essential to survive. But then it dawned on me that the reason they're allowed to stay open because they are the biggest investors in the stock market. They live on Wall Street. But the little mom and pop stores, the little barbershops, the little salons, little restaurants, you know, local restaurants, I'm not talking about the big chains because they've been allowed to stay open simply because they have a drive-up. Some restaurants have been allowed to stay open as long as they have a drive-up or a quick carry-out. But for the most part, they've been classified as non-essential. Well, once again, the government decided your freedom to decide. They decided for you that your business and your income is not essential. Where the bigger corporations is certainly essential because of the Wall Street gang. And I'm not against the stock market, but once again, I see the discrimination, the government making a decision for you whether your business, your income is essential or not. It's an infringement and an insult to you as a free individual. For the government to look at you and say, well, your business is not essential, you got to shut down. Well, that's not a free person. You should have enough common sense, enough intelligence as a business person to know how to regulate your business during a time of crisis and still maintain your income to at least to a certain level to come in. And I know the government's talking about small business loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I guarantee you, when you read through the list of requirements and regulations and stipulations and the fine print, good luck, my friend. Good luck. There's nothing free from the government. They will get it back one way or another. So once again, these kind of times lets us know just how powerful government entities want to be and just how power hungry politicians are. I know they express things in the interest of, at least it's a facade, in the interest of public safety. But in essence, it's about power to control and to define what's essential. Every single solitary individual is essential. Every single solitary individual's income is essential. And as governments do, especially in the United States, they like to throw money at things as though that's going to appease or satisfy the need. Well, like I said, one way or another, they're going to get the money back. It's in the free ride. And we don't know what's at the other end of this thing. We don't even understand the undercurrents. We get glimpses here and there, but we don't fully understand the undercurrents of what's taking place during this pandemic. So it causes me to pause and wonder and to consider and to observe that once again, the government is defining your freedom. The government is defining your life, your liberty, your pursuit of happiness, and your freedom. It's like all of a sudden, in these times, those things are just put on the shelf and they're going to make the final decision for you. Well, some Americans are not sitting still for that. They're protesting. They're defying governmental orders. And that's good. And I know the argument is, well, they should take into consideration of others and not just think of themselves. No, they're not thinking just themselves. They're thinking of the employees they have. They're thinking of their future, the future of their business, the future of their employees. And so it's not just about themselves. And when it's all said and done and everything collapses, you think the government's going to be there for you? No, not going to happen. Unless they want to turn the United States into a total welfare condition where you have to completely depend on the government. Is that the kind of nation we want? Well, if you want a nation like that, you are not a free individual. You're a slave. And see, to me, this falls under the 13th Amendment that abolished slavery and involuntary servitude. When they decide to shut your business down, did you decide that, or did they decide that for you? If you didn't decide that, or you didn't decide how you want to regulate your business during this crisis, but they imposed upon you the fact that you have to shut it down, that's involuntary servitude. You didn't volunteer to do that. They're making the decision for you based on a national emergency. Well, it's not a national emergency because it's not happening the same way in every geographical area. There's certain hot spots, but there's many areas that still normal as can be. That doesn't mean that something can't erupt at any given time. Of course, we realize that. However, they've imposed the law upon you when you hadn't committed any crime, because it wasn't a crime to run your business beforehand, so why is it a crime now? Why do they want to impose some fabricated, misguided law upon you and your business all of a sudden and tell you that you have to shut it down when it's not up to them to decide? It's up to you to decide. But it creates fear, creates pandemonium, it creates uncertainty, and subtly creates a slave mentality to governmental decisions. They're going to make the decision for us. They're going to decide for us. They're going to be the wisdom. They're going to be the ones that instruct us on what to do and what not to do. People, don't fall for that. Use your God-given common sense. Use your God-given intelligence And do not forfeit your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness for any governmental policy that invades and erodes your God-given freedom. Don't do that. Till next time, God bless and be a true American.